Okay, we're going to be able to see the Nightwatch here coming out with instant detection alongside with War. From the Survivor side, we're going to be able to see double flywheel here on both the Entomologist and the Embalmer, followed up by a knee-jerk reflex on the Embalmer and of course the Patient. Lying here with Tightoner on the Gravekeeper. This is going to be Wolves versus YS for the Week 1 Day 1 Match 2 Game 3 first half. Okay, on towards the game we go. We're going to be able to see Toai here spawning by Lantern Gate, if I'm not wrong, a little bit closely towards Lantern Gate. But of course, with Warp here as our main trait for Nightwatch, I guess it really is just, okay, what are the chances of us actually utilizing Warp here? There's going to be a GK nearby as well, Gravekeeper currently being nearby, but it seems like we want to change targets once again for the Entomologist here. Entomologist is going to be able to create quite a bit of a distance before Toai can actually get a hit on towards her. There is 15 seconds left on towards the clock here for Quenching Effect. It's going to be instant detention, which Hunter's Instincts, Quenching Effect, Claustrophobia, and Berserker. But even so, with that in mind, we're going to be able to get a double back situation here. Entomologist is doing a really good job with the Tide Kiting, but I guess it really is just one warp and one movement debuff, and it seems like that will be about it. For drop right there, for Entomologist right there, what she wanted to do was to put the bees right in between our Hunter, just so we can push back and stop him from coming near us. But I guess the other issue there would be, you would get pulled back a little bit as well. For Entomologist right here, we'd be going down immediately. Warp has been consumed, which is nice, but like once you actually close the gap, it will be really hard here for Entomologist to actually contain against a Nightwatch, especially with Insolence as well. That's going to be one stack here on towards Nightwatch. Lion here wanting to come in towards the rescue. Lion might just get spotted out here immediately as well. That's going to be the paddle drop down immediately and then in straight towards the shovel. But of course, if we get the hit on towards the shovel, it simply just means one thing, and that is we don't have movement speed boost towards the chair. That's going to be a hit over. That's going to be Nightwatch pushed back, and Entomologist, sadly the bees isn't going to be able to do much aside from that, but that's going to be a mini pullback here, and GK damaged, half health. 2.5 Cypher Machine is going to be finished from the Survivor side, but formal elimination went up towards 29% here though from Toai. With that in mind, we're gonna be able to get the vault overs here as well, and there really is just a lot of pattern mind games. But it seems like for drop right there, we didn't really decide to mind game. We just decided to keep vaulting. Just keep vaulting. Well, I mean, we do have the honeybees there as well. I guess that's a bit of a 10% vaulting speed boost that you can kind of abuse. But against the Nightwatch, like if it was any Hunter, yes, it would work. Any Hunter that's not Opera Singer or Nightwatch with movement speed boost, yes, that can work, but yeah, you do kind of have to play a little bit of a mind game there against the other two. Patient can definitely come in for the rescue. This should be, well, they're gonna sell. All they need is a tie here from YS. They don't really need a win, because like the moment they tie here, the next game, all their Hunter needs to do is to get a tie as well, and that would kind of mark the win here for YS against Wolves. But of course, same thing. Well, it's back to the usual. We're going to be able to see YYK here. Patient. That's going to be the first hook out from this area. We're currently beneath Tea House here. And yeah, slow debuff is a tad bit annoying, but no flywheel sadly to get right in between the pallets. We're going to be able to finish off the 4 Cypher Machine there as well. Meanwhile, Lion is a little bit too close for comfort here, let's just say, because the 2 Cypher Machines here are pretty close to each other, but Lion might just have to rotate from this area. That's going to be a Typhoon here currently being utilized, and that's going to be a hit down on towards the Patient. There's 1 Cypher Machine in towards middle as well. The last 3 Cypher Machines are actually pretty close towards each other, which might not be the best case scenario here from the Survivor side. We are going to be able to cheer outside here near towards World 3 where Embalmer is, but Embalmer being able to see the face of our GK Gravekeeper I guess in that case scenario, maybe we can kind of rotate a little bit further away right after we get the rescue. But since we don't have our time, might just be a little bit hard. We're currently both running on towards the same area, and that's currently the embalmer down. There's only one pallet here for. Oh, we're gonna get the warp over here, and that's gonna be GK straight into our shovel, but this shovel doesn't really mean much. We could get the pallet drop down, but that pallet drop down also isn't anything. Oh, that's gonna be the but we can reuse the warp here. We didn't get in between the pallets right there. That's so unfortunate. Warp still being activated for 15 seconds. We can get the chair here immediately and then teleport over with our warp. Even if we get the heal right there, it doesn't really matter. Twine here with the warp. Twine here, 3 stacks of energy. Twine here, being able to see Maoem nearby as well. But with Maoem nearby, we can get the Typhoon. That's gonna be Typhoon pullback, and we're gonna be able to get the hit down. Sadly, we didn't get the coffin down there though, because if we got the coffin down, at least we would be able to get rescued the Gravekeeper, but we didn't, and that's gonna be 2 survivors on towards chair right now. Meanwhile, YYK is still trying to run away from this area. We're missing 1 full cipher machine, just 1 full cipher machine, but also at the same time, I feel like if we chair and Embalmer right there probably would be a better case scenario, simply because of the fact that if he does use Coffin, that's great. We'll go after Patient instead. And Patient here with one of his hooks here currently being used, but that doesn't matter. You're currently against a Nightwatch right now. Who do you think you are? A Nightwatch here, Typhoon, Tempest. We're going to decide to use Typhoon here instead. That's going to be the pullback here on towards the Patient, and that's going to be the hit right over the pallet. We should be going over to check the Embalmer first. Embalmer at 93% self-heal rate. That's going to be the fast vault over. And of course, the chair down and the drop down. The chair down, we most likely will be utilizing self-heal here. But with the self-rescue here in mind, I guess it really is just, okay, you're going to self-rescue, but it seems like for tomorrow, we're not going to go after the Embalmer. This is Patient's second chair, don't know. Preferably speaking, right, I think for Toy right now, what he wants to do is to stall for warp time. As long as he can stall for warp time, everything is fine. And I guess as well, he kind of does know where Embalmer is. We're going to bring Patient a little bit closely towards middle right now. So we want to bring Patient towards Embalmer, just so we know where Embalmer and Patient both are before we actually get the chair down situations. The warp is ready as well. We're going to be able to get the vault over here for YYK, but YYK without much items here remaining left to use, that's going to be pulled back and immediate hit down. There's no Tinnitus popping out from this area, which means that Mom can only be elsewhere. One of the corners has been scouted already, but it seems like we're going to go towards another prime cipher machine just to see if there's any survivors nearby, but it seems like there isn't currently. And of course, with the speed up here, use of technology, we're going to be able to see the end result here, being able to see where Moem is. That's going to be the Embalmer here pulled back. Beautiful flywheel there as well, but even with that flywheel on mind, that's going to be the Embalmer down. Still having self-heal there though, that's currently brilliant, but warp here from Tong-Ai, and we should be able to see the Patient here immediately as well. No self-heal on towards the Patient here. We do have triple dashes. That's going to be the first dash there currently being utilized. And then we're going to use the movement speed boost. Second dash is currently ready here as well. And then we are going to be able to get the pull back there as well. And that's going to be the hit down on towards Patient. Let's congratulate Toy here for the 4-man elimination. Because the next game, Debo needs that 4-man elimination too, or else they will lose by points. Moem here also used up self-heal. But the moment you use up self-heal and we still get Tinnitus, that means we know that you're nearby. We do see the footprints here being left by the Embalmer 2 dashes, and that's all what it takes to catch up. And of course, with that in mind, it seems like we might be able just to see a very miraculous 4-man endgame is what I would like to say, because like early game we did waste like 60 seconds for warp to be ready before we can get the hit on towards Entomologist, and it was around 90 seconds by the time Entomologist was down. But sadly, the 4-man elimination on YS side. YS a little bit devastated right here, but it is a miraculous run here for Tawai. Okay, let's move on then. This is going to be week 1, day 1 match 2 game 3, second half of Wolves versus YS. We're going to be able to see YSD here alongside with Warp Instance Detention as well. There's going to be a triple flywheel here on the Survivor side with 1 Titaner, but we need to be aware that Mechanic also doesn't have borrowed time. Okay, let's move on straight towards the game then. We're going to be able to see Debo here coming out as Nightwatch as well. Survivor team combo is going to be Acrobat, Mercenary, the Mechanic, and of course Entomologist here. It's been a while since we've seen Mechanic, but it's going to be D-King here who's going to be playing Mechanic as well. The Mechanic style here currently being deployed down as well, but I guess, you know, with the Snides pop from the doll side, the doll definitely will be able to buy quite a lot of time in regards to just, you know, basic generic hiding. Can we see the doll? We don't really see it. We do hear the doll, but that's gonna be a brilliant pallet stun there done by D-King, but it seems like Mechanic's location will be revealed here immediately as well. But like, I mean, since Mechanic's doll has been eliminated, I feel like we don't necessarily have to go after Mechanic anymore, but that's gonna be the immediate warp trade here to catch up towards Mechanic. Mechanic still having a doll left on her hand. We could potentially get the vault over there and use the doll for another body block, but it seems like it won't be possible anymore right after that. We're waiting. We did get a normal hit right there. Flywheel was ready as well, but we decided not to use the flywheel because there's nowhere else where we could go. Okay then, tie game here currently at 28% and 3-man elimination at 20%. 4-man elimination at 22% though, surprisingly. Mercenary was nearby. We didn't get hit on towards Mercenary because he simply went between the pallets. But here, I guess, right after the Entomologist support, we did get the flywheel out. We do have one speed boost left to use, but sadly, didn't really win the pallet mine game. Okay then, with Mechanic going down right here, and of course Mechanic stalled still not deployed down right after getting eliminated by the Nightwatch, we're going to be able to cheer immediately, but it seems like we didn't want to cheer near the Mercenary, which is kind of the unfortunate part, because if we do cheer near Mercenary Cypher Machine, at least we can still somewhat force Mercenary to do the rescue. But I guess in this case scenario here for D-Ball, we kind of want to cheer towards this direction, simply because of the fact there's nowhere else where the mech can actually go and contain and try rebound kite, since the pallet there has been broken. There might be just, you know, 2 more pallets right behind the Nightwatch here, but that doesn't really matter. That doesn't really matter. XMX on the other side though, we are going to be going for the cell instead. The doll is still deployed down on the ground as well, so I'm guessing from Mercenary's point of view here, what we want is a no damage rescue after half. Ooh, damn. You know what? That's not bad. As long as we get a tight turnout, it's not too bad. We want to get a double body block situation, but I guess for D-Ball right now as well, getting rid of the doll is another part of the priority, simply because of the fact that we don't want the survivors to utilize the doll to decode with the you know, Cypher rush us. But of course, with Mechanic going down right here, it's around 2 minutes and 30 seconds in towards the game. We're currently down at a very nice corner. But even with that corner in mind, that's going to be immediate pickup and a drop down. Mechanic here currently being eliminated. But after Mechanic gets eliminated, in all honesty, Yavi is standing still. We're being very wary of the warp here, simply because of the fact that Entomologist is a thing. Right, Entomologist is very wary of warp on Nightwatch, but it seems like for D-Ball right now, we're going to be able to move straight towards Acrobat. That's a fireball being deployed down. I feel like maybe using your speed boost instead of dash would have been a little bit better. But of course, this is a 487 on towards, you know, the Acrobat too. We kind of did miss a dash there, which is a little bit unfortunate. But even with the dash misses there on mine, 487, that's going to be another snowball there currently being utilized. We should be able to catch up here relatively fast, and didn't get a hit right over the pallet. Still max health here though. We do have 3 seconds left on towards the clock for the next ball, but I guess it really is just one failed flywheel, and that's what it takes at home. Okay then, with that in mind, Cypher Machine here more or less is going to be enough to see a 3-man endgame. We want to do a little bit of a damage control here from Nightwatch's side. Currently near World 3, we're going to be able to see Mercenary here with 2 elbow pads left on his hands, 1 elbow pad currently being consumed, and more or less here, the Nightwatch is just not able to find any opportunities to... Nightwatch can't really find any opportunities here, simply because of the fact that survivors aren't really giving him any opportunities. But of course, for XMX right now, the main priority is to actually save that last elbow pad for endgame, because we need something to kite. And that's one of the most important parts of, you know, this game, I guess. Endgame is still... I mean, you know, Nightwatch's endgame has been significantly nerfed because we nerfed his dash skills, which is fine, but it doesn't mean that it's still not scary. It is still viable to a certain extent. You need 4 dashes to get from one gate to another, compared to maybe 3 dashes after the nerf. But like, you know, in a nutshell, it kind of is just... you have to be careful. Still have to be careful. With the Nightwatch's side right now as well, we're going to be able to get the triple dashes in. That's going to be the pullback there. And of course, Entomologist flywheel coming out just a little bit early. Getting on back on towards dash bees as well. Can we get rid of the bees before we do anything more is what I was thinking. Because I thought that would probably be for the better idea. But for Yavi right now, That's going to be the down on towards Ento. 2 survivors here at half health. Mercenary definitely going to be the one that comes in towards for the rescue, and just utilizing the beast to buy a little bit more time. We got the heal on towards the mercenary and the acrobat. And that's the first chair here on our little friend Ento. I feel like in this case scenario, right, if we don't see the cipher machine shaking, we shouldn't really drop down that warp. Acrobat is going to come in from the rescue, back 2 for the rescue, so that's going to be a back to rescue. Very nicely done. Debo should have waited for at least, you know, I would say he should have waited at least for the cipher machine to shake before you do anything, since if they're not decoding, there's no point. I'm going to change targets here. Okay, then we're going to be able to get the heal on towards the entomologist. We go straight towards the gate. But of course, Mercenary will one last elbow pad. Mercenary with his mini Titan, 1 hit 8 seconds, 2 hits 16 seconds. That should be more than enough time for the entomologist to be healed as well. But alongside with that, we don't have any items left on towards Mercenary side, so we kind of have to hope that Mercenary does have something to use for endgame. That's going to be a hit registered on towards Mercy. And with Mercy here, he is going to be relatively safe. There is a chest near where Mercenary is running towards you, so he can look for items for endgame here. And we're just going to start, just start the cipher machines. Right now, what matters the most is, okay, I know that all the 3 cipher machines are near me, but I'm not Dreamwitch. If we are Dreamwitch here, it will be a little bit more different, but we're in Nightwatch, so map control wise, it's not as good. It really just isn't as good. We do see Navy nearby as well as entomologists without any items. I feel like from the survivor side, getting items is the utmost priority. For Acrobat, there's nothing you can do, but of course from Mercenary side, XMX, that's going to be another elbow pad on his hands. We are holding on towards the ball right now. We are still waiting, but we didn't get ahead, a little bit unfortunate. Having to dodge that mud ball right there. That's going to be the pull back. Flywheel definitely could have cancelled the pull. Flywheel definitely could have cancelled the pull right there. But right now, the game is still on Debo's side because of the warp. The warp is just really dominant. Really dominant right now. There's 2 survivors at half health. There's an entomologist there at full health that has been on chair, but whoever decides to decode the cipher machine, you're going to come back to me and you're going to get a hit down. There should be a basement nearby here though for the hunter, if I'm not wrong. There is. And right now for 487, because he wanted to give off pressure, sadly, with the basement being nearby, there's still a chance for 3-man elimination. Survivor should pop the cipher machine here. Yeah, you just should just pop the cipher machine here. Yes, for Debo right now, it's a win situation for him since it's a basement. But he needs a 4-man, not a 3-man. I mean, like, this doesn't show how... This kind of also does show, okay, warp is really strong on Nightwatch if used correctly as well, but it seems like we're going to be utilizing that warp to get towards the other side of the map right here. It just isn't enough, but at least we can go back. At least we can use it again to go back. We're trying to get the vault over here as well. Tamon just trying to buy just a little bit more time, but that's going to be a brilliant flywheel here on Yavi. Sadly, that's going to be another speed boost here currently being utilized, and Mercenary, who is going to be more or less focused on the exit gate. It seems like we would be able to get the gate open. We have to check the entomologist here as well. 2 reasons. Reason number 1 being the fact that she can definitely heal on time with flywheel, and reason number 2 is you can't use warp ever again right afterwards. Let's congratulate the win here for Wolves. A 3-man elimination still here on Debo, so you cannot deny it, but it's going to be a victory here for Wolves from Toai's 4-man elimination.